you can buy a Malaysian property as a home, right? You want to establish a life here, you buy it here, great value. Confirm you get good stuff on, especially your HDB here relative to that. The size is different, right? So you get good stuff. But if you want to try to like make money out of the investment markets, then a big question, right? At this point in time, yeah.
This is Reggie. If you have seen Financial Coconut, you definitely know him. Reggie, thank you for joining today's discussion.
Yeah, great. I mean, you're at my studio, right? we had another recording, but that was great. Good stuff.
You know, Reggie, when I got to know that you live in KL, I was like, hey, I need to ask you, what is it like to retire there? What is it like to stay there and stuff? What kind of properties? But firstly, how long have you been staying in KL? What's your story?
First and foremost, right, I haven't retired. Okay, must be clear because I'm on Joshtantap's show, right? I need to be clear about this, right? Because retirement expectations are slightly different. Okay, so that's fair. When I first went to KL, actually it wasn't for KL. It was more because I wanted to leave Singapore. Right? I had quite a traumatic entrepreneurial experience. Like for all you that do business before, you know it can be quite crazy. Right, so there was a very bad founder dispute, and to put it bluntly, I couldn't really function anymore. And in Singapore, it's quite hard, like you have to work, right? If you don't work, it's quite challenging, right? Like to kind of live a life here, right? So I shifted, right? So eventually, I chose KL because it was easy. It's a lazy way to migrate, or at least go somewhere else. Because culturally, we are very similar. Right, so I think that's kind of how I ended up KL. So it's not because I love KL, but because I wanted to leave Singapore. But eventually, I found some love for it. Yeah.
So why KL instead of JB? Maybe because JB is just across causeway. You can come back and forth.
Yeah. Actually, I never thought of it in a very particular way, like why JB and why not KL. But I think eventually I settled down in KL because like I already had some friends there. So that was one thing. And actually in KL, right, the public transport is very good. Okay, I know I will get attacked. It's not like Singapore good, right? It's different. It's not like Singapore good, but it's good. It's much better than what a lot of people think of it as, right? Like the MRT system, the LRT system, it's very good. So as a person that don't drive, right, that commute on the commute, right, like on the trains, it's actually good enough for me. Yeah, whereas like in Johor, like don't drive cannot, right? Like you pretty much have to like grab around and all that. Yeah, so in the end, I think KL is a metropolitan choice. Yeah.
So you have an office in KL City Centre and you are staying in KL City Centre?
No, I'm actually living in the outside of KL, right? So I'm not like in the KL area. So I was staying in Subang, right? So Subang is like a uni town, out of KL, you know Sunway? Bandar Sunway, right? So Sunway City, somewhere around there. That's kind of where I stayed. So it is about a 40-minute LRT ride to the heart of KL. Yeah, but nobody goes to KL one. I said, really? The only time I'm in KL, right, is because Singaporeans come. Right, so every time I tell my friends, like my Malaysian friends or my KL friends, I say, oh, I'm in KL. It's like, what the hell are you doing in KL? Like as a very defined, the city center is called KL. Anything out of it is actually Selangor. Right, so PJ, Subang, Kajang, whatever, it's all broader, not considered within the jurisdiction of Kuala Lumpur city, right? So there's a difference. And so to Singaporeans, you don't know, you don't care, right? The whole thing is KL, right? So that's kind of how it is. But to Malaysians that stay there is a difference, right? You are in KL city, is KL city, and you're outside. So every time I'm there, then I tell them I'm there, they're like, oh, Singaporean, then okay, I get it, no wonder you're there, right? Yeah, so that's the only thing.
So is rent very different in KL Centre versus outside? It's much cheaper?
Yes, so it could be 2-3 times cheaper. Yeah.
Any figures they can share with us, just in case you want to stay there for extended
Okay, so I think for my rent is about 1,500 ringgit a month. Yeah, so it's cheap. It's affordable. Okay, affordable. Okay, don't cancel me. it's affordable. You can tahan. This can accept. Okay, at least for Singaporeans, if you make Sing dollar or you make like some remote income in US dollar, whatever, you're fine. It's okay. But the local Malaysians will tell you it's very expensive. Of course, because they make in ringgit, 1,500 is a big part of their salary. It's a bit much. But if you go all the way into the heart of KL, right, easily we're in the 4-5, range, like 3-5, 4-5 range, right? So even then, it's not impossible, right? For an average Singaporean that work median income, right? But yeah, there is a difference, and the difference is quite big.
So would you consider buying a KL property in future? Now you're renting happily.
Yes, I'm renting very happily. I did consider buying a property in KL, but a few considerations. The first thing, we are foreigner, right? So as a foreigner, there are some restrictions based on the price that you can get. So in the heart of KL, right, it's about a million ringgit, which is okay, right? It's not that crazy, but once you exit the heart of KL, which is the KL city outside, where Singaporeans think whole thing is KL, right? Once you exit the city, actually that part is Selangor, and Selangor has a minimum requirement of 2 million. 2 million ringgit for a foreigner to buy. Yeah, and actually for mortgages, right, if you can show you make Sing dollar, it's quite okay one. It's not that difficult to get a mortgage, right? 90%, you know, like it should be possible. It's quite okay. Yeah, it's just quite pricey. Like still quite a chunk, right, to go in to do that. And I think for concerned Singaporean, 30-year depreciation of ringgit, 5% year on year, it's still quite bad lah, right? But if you decide that okay, KL is the place to go, you want to stay there, then okay lah, right? But as of now, I'm still like kind of on the fence.
So if I hear your math correctly, price is at least 2 million, but you can rent at 1,500.
Yeah.
Then the incentive to rent is very strong.
Exactly.
You don't like, you can move a neighborhood.
Exactly. And the rental market in KL is not sticky at all. Like the prices just keep dropping as new property development come up. Yeah, so, and okay, once again, I established that when I use KL, I'm using it for Singaporeans. So the whole thing is KL. So actually, the rental prices are not very sticky. Every time there's a new development, you know, this old one will depreciate. Unless you're in a very dense area already that does not have a lot of space for new development, then rental kind of holds. But generally, you just get the trendiest property at a relatively affordable rental rate.
So that means there's no real investment upside, or you haven't identified what really would be a good investment.
Whole Sing dollar is a good investment. if you want to,
I gotta squeeze out a
if you want
location.
I'm not knee deep in the space, so that I don't dare to preach for the property market, right? But generally, my sense for Singaporeans, you know, you can also check out my channel. I mean, we talk a little bit about this with some other experts in the space, right? Generally, the sentiment is you can buy a Malaysian property as a home, right? You want to establish your life here, you buy it here, great value. Confirm you get good stuff on, especially your HDB here relative to that. The size is different, right? So you get good stuff. But if you want to try to like make money out of the investment markets, then a big question, right? At this point in time, yeah.
So if you're a foreigner buying a property in KL, it could be 1 million or 2 million ringgit as a minimum price. Of this moment, you're happily working remotely in KL side. Any tips for someone who's looking to a digital nomad? Is KL a good choice? Would you choose KL again?
The thing about KL is that it is a good place to hustle on something that you're trying to do big. Okay, like in Singapore, a lot of startups come here, they struggle. Right? It's very hard because the cost of operation is very high. So most of them, they already got something when they come here. Right? Usually that's kind of how it works. So if you're trying to grow something and do it big, right, then a place like KL with a decent ecosystem, there's also a good capital ecosystem, there's a good tech ecosystem, there's something to develop there, right? But if you're just trying to be a nomad, right, like just do like Fiverr, Upwork, that type, right, then is KL the best place? I think there are other options.
Maybe not the cheapest.
Yeah, maybe not the cheapest, because if you're competing for something like that, right? Then Chiang Mai, Bali, you know, Penang, those are hot spots, right? Like in the digital nomad world, KL becomes like okay, you know, but you don't really need to be here, right? Just for reference, you know, if you go to somewhere like Kedah, right, which is the northern state, right, your rent is $300 a month, right? 300 ringgit a month, right? So it can get really affordable. Even Malacca is doing it, I think 600 ringgit a month, like renting a house, right? So depending on which area but there are a lot of options in Malaysia if you're just looking to digital nomad. Don't need to be in KL.
Okay, so if I hear you correctly, if you want to build a business, you hire talent maybe, educated talent.
Yes.
KL maybe works more than Penang or JB.
I think so.
Correct, right? So that's where if you want to build a business, maybe that works. If you
want people will kill me lah. I think so. Yes, I think so.
biases.
Yes.
But if you want to reside anywhere, then maybe KL is not the cheapest. You can even do digital nomad any part of Malaysia.
Of course. Many other places you don't need to be in KL if you're just trying to be a digital nomad. right? Like I said, right, the name drop, but Penang is quite a nice place, right? And actually, the northern part of Malaysia has a very developed railway ecosystem, right? You can take, I think, 2 hours to Perlis, which is the border town of Malaysia, right? So like the border state, to Thailand. So that's the border, like the border Padang Besar, right? That's the border. That's a 2-hour ride to Penang. So it's actually very close, like you can get over and then you can go to Ipoh, so it's another 2 hours. So the northern ecosystem, right, which is what we hope will happen in the south, the high-speed rail, right? Malacca, come down, great. That's what we hope to happen. But in the north, it's already done, right? So you see a lot of people that just kind of like do that same thing, right? Where they maybe work in Penang and then they take like a 1-hour train ride back to Alostar or like somewhere in Kedah in the north, which is they make the arbitrage from that geography.
You know, when I was in Penang, I was asking the taxi driver, hey, do you go to Thailand often? It's like 1-2 hour drive, right? Then the answer he gave me was no. He doesn't drive to Thailand. Now I was like, hey, I drive to JB so often, don't you drive to Thailand? Actually, he doesn't see the incentive. Even so, I was quite surprised to find out. So maybe Penang people are just happy in that ecosystem.
The island people have a little bit of a pride. I think Penang Island has a bit of a pride, right? So I shout out to you, the islanders.
That's the last question. In terms of retirement, right? What are some of the benefits of KL versus again Penang, which is Penang and JB? Maybe you can expand it.
Okay, so I think, personally, there is a reason that cities exist, right? When cities are there, actually a lot of good resources come together because it's dense, right? It's with Singapore, right? If you want the best schools, you want the best healthcare, you want the best doctors, the best chefs, they're all in big cities, right? You will have 1 or 2 interesting people in Penang. Okay, a bit more like Penang maybe 10, Johor maybe 10, okay, but the idea is there, right? So if you want the best quality healthcare, you want the best things, and if Singapore is a bit too pricey to get that, right? Actually, I think KL has a decent amount of that also, right? So if you ask me from that Singaporean concern, like retiring, like KL is a decent good place. As compared to the other states, but of course I know the other states are also developing, and hopefully at the end of the year I can give you a more concrete answer because we're trying to do some research on it. Right? So we're collecting information, trying to get clarity on that front. But in general, I think it's really up to your taste. Once again, everybody says that up to your taste. And the good thing is, it's Malaysia. We are just neighbors. It's not that difficult to go there and just stay a month to get a flavor. The flavor of the month, like how is this place like to fit your palate?
So currently, when you fly in, how long can you stay? I'm also
okay. So if you're on a tourist visa, it's 30 days.
Okay.
But I'm on a digital nomad visa, right? So that one can be a much longer arrangement.
Okay.
So actually, there's such a visa. I cannot remember the exact name, but the digital nomad just called it a digital nomad visa.
Okay,
right?
So there's this special visa,
yes.
which can allow you like a PR,
1 year stay.
1 year stay.
1 year stay inside.
Okay.
So you can do that, and up to 1 year stay. You must see how it's approved.
Wow.
But that one is not that difficult to achieve. It's harder than most other places like Bali, every other place, but it's not that difficult. I think you have to show about 2.5 or 2.8 thousand Sing dollar monthly income, right? To be able to get that. I can't remember the exact number, but it's okay one. Like as a digital nomad, maybe a bit hard for a starter, but you should be able to get there.
Wow, interesting. We should check out that visa in due time. Maybe I'll put some research in the links below.
Yes.
Thank you, Reggie, so much for sharing a little bit on what are different flavors of Malaysia, KL versus Penang versus JB. If you have questions for us, leave them in the comment sections. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Don't cancel me. Mentions are very intense about this, okay? So we hope to see you around.
Okay, man. We'll see you next video. Goodbye.